Today was a quiet day. There's not a lot to cover, but I'll do the best that I can with what we got available to us. Before we get any further on that, I want to go ahead and say a special shout out thank you to our Patreon supporters. Really appreciate it, everyone. Double shout out thank you to RemAG for being a higher tiered supporter. And there's a link in the description if you guys want to check that out. Also, please keep in mind, I'm not a financial advisor. Everything I'm sharing is my own opinions, my own research. I highly encourage you to do your own research. With that being said, let's get into this. Taking a look at this on the daily, we can see that AMC had a little bit of a pullback. It's down 1.10%, and volume was just really low. It's 23.25 million. Very, very low volume. We're seeing this being reflected in some other key metrics too. Like, for example, in Google Trends, if you search for AMC, AMC is at a very low point right now, registering at a 19. We do have other values earlier in the last 365-day period. For example, back in December of last year, it registered as a 6. So by comparison, it's not as bad as then, but we have a lot of flatlining that's been going on. And I think this creates an opportunity, whereas we start to go towards next year, we hit the 1-year mark, a lot of people trying to take their long-term capital gains. There might be an opportunity that comes up with that, where more people are now proactively talking. Looking at some of the other metrics here, we can also see that in the aftermarket, it is slightly down, at least as of the time of me making this video, down to $41.98. So below the $42 range. And if it manages to keep dropping down, the next major level I'd be looking at is at $40.83. And then the next major level tomorrow would be all the way down below 38 at $37.97. A further decline below that would be down to $36, but I would be very surprised if something like that happened. We'd have to get some really bad news, and I just don't see it at the moment. RSI is pretty well balanced, not much really going on there, and by comparison, that volume is just absolutely horrible. Now, some other things to keep in mind is that as far as for the call options, we can see that at the $42 strike price, there's 5,527 call options. They're in the money. Us being in the after hours, being below that, that would now technically be in the out of the money position. And realistically, what we're looking at right now is if it can get above $45, we're going to have quite a few of these call options move from out of the money to in the money, and that will help drive the price up more and what we call a gamma squeeze. Now, whether or not this is going to be enough to really help drive a gamma squeeze, it's still hard to say, but this is a good number for sure. If we take a look at what's currently in the money, there's very little by perspective that's in the money, which to me, that sends up a lot of red flags because I'm like, why is it that we keep having such a massive amount of call options expire out of money? What it largely suggests is that the market makers are driving the market price to work in their favor so that when these things expire, guess what? They make the money on it, right? It's very frustrating. I don't do call options. Maybe I will in the future. I'll never say never on that, but I don't do call options. People keep doing them, and guess what? People keep getting burned, and they don't seem to be learning their lesson. And this just gives them more money to keep doing what they're doing. Dark pool data, we got negative 115 million shares existing over there at negative $4.5 billion. Almost negative $4.6 billion. Absolutely horrendous what's going on. Then we also have on Stonko Tracker 900,000 shares available to borrow, 43,081 ETF shares available to borrow. We got the fee borrow rate is down even more. I don't even remember the last time that I've ever seen it this low. This might be the first time. It's down to 0.5%. Very, very low. As you guys can see from the options data here, suggesting about 250,000 call options that are currently out of the money. That's a lot. And of course, as usual now, they're not reporting anything on the dark pool percentages. This is ridiculous. With this reporting system, I mean, they were reporting it on the daily. Sometimes they'd kind of miss some. And now it's just the entire graph here is like, hey, we're just not going to tell you anything that's going on with it. I don't know what's going up with that, but yeah, really bad. All right, and that's going to go ahead and be it for this video, guys. Well, I guess one last thing is that if it manages to go up We are seeing a little bit of resistance, it looks like, just slightly, right around $44.14. I think personally the $44 range is going to be a little bit tough to try and break above closing out for the Friday, but if we can, then we're looking pretty good. We'll get 15,000 here and 17,000 there. So a good amount, but it'd be really great if it was above 45 bucks. I don't know if that's going to happen with all the manipulation that always seems to be going on. So that's it. I got referral links in the description if you want to get free cryptocurrency or free stock. It's free money for you guys. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit subscribe, hit the thumbs up like button. It does help us out with the YouTube search algorithm. Click the bell icon so you know whenever we go live, and I will see you in the next episode.